Hey gang, welcome back to 31 Days of Halloween. Today is day number 30. We're going to talk about 1979's Amityville Horror. Um, Directed by Stuart Rosenberg. A couple films of his that I really have enjoyed over the years, Cool Hand Luke and Brubaker. You've probably all heard of Cool Hand Luke. Brubaker is another prison type film. Very, very good. I highly recommend it. The starring James Brolin, father of one of my favorites, Josh Brolin, Margot Kidder, and priest, Rod Steiger, the priest. Um, yeah, based on true events. Who knows? Uh, we'll just go with that. It's based on true events, and it has spun off a lot of really interesting things from the Conjuring universe with Annabelle and all that. It isn't. I don't know. This is one of those films that um, every horror fan knows. It's not. It's not one of my favorites, but it's not one that I dislike at all. The performances are. I don't know. James Brolin does a really good job, but Margot Kidder just doesn't. I don't know. She just doesn't do it for me in this film. And after um, reading up on it a little bit, finding out that she really disliked this film and her thoughts on it, it's kind of, well, maybe she just wasn't all into it. Who knows? But anyway, it's a story about a newlywed couple that moves into a house that a mass murdering had happened, and the house starts doing a lot of weird shit. Now, I will tell you that Amityville 2, The Possession, if you want to watch, if you want an example of the sequel being better than the original, that's the one you need to watch. You need to find a copy of Part 2 and watch it because it is unsettling, unnerving, and really fucking good. I mean, really good. Amityville, the original Amityville Horror, just, I don't know. I'd almost have to, and I hate to say this, but I, going back and watching this again today, um, I was just not into it at all, really. It was one of those movies that it really bugged me because I hadn't remembered this, but every day it gave us a title card that said day 5, Friday, day 5, something like that. And I was like, all right, why are we still here after day 9? I mean, because shit starts happening right off the get go. Day 9, there's 20, this has 21 days in it. And day 9 is a pretty good shot. Get out, move out. I know you just bought the house, you got a mortgage and what the fuck ever, but still, hey, there's flies in your fucking window and it's wintertime. There's jelly leaking out of your walls and shit. There's goo coming out of your toilet. It's time to hit the fucking road. So, I don't know. The stuff with the priest, the very first, one of the very first scenes where the priest is in the room getting ready to bless it, and the flies come on his head and they go in the windows and the door slams. That is one of the best scenes. No, that is the best scene in the film. There are some unsettling scenes with, different images, but it's all imagery. It's all, and it's not one that works well because a lot of times a horror film can be made and everything happen off camera, or most things happen off camera, which is the case of this. We see some stuff, like we see the little kid's hands get trapped in the window. We hear the voice, we see stuff like that. Even as ineffective as the jelly coming through the wall, which was supposedly blood, stuff like that usually is enough. And then we see the other stuff in imagery, which is the murders we see in dream sequences and at the very beginning and stuff like that, is usually enough to make the film atmospheric enough to hold in. Now, this is a very successful independent film. It's for its time, it was very, very successful, and a lot of people were very interested in this because of the book that just came out, and because of all the the rumors and hubbub about the house. The house is not the house in the film has always been rumored to be the house. It is not the house. They wouldn't even let him film in Amityville or Amity. So there's just so much speculation around it that at the time this thing was so successful. And I know there's a lot of movies like that where they say like this is based on true events. But when you have this is the main story. All right. That is, broadened out to start like the Conjuring universe. Everybody knows the Warrens, investigated this house and all that stuff. But it all just kind of fades away. And even myself, after years of watching these films and all of these, I still would drift back to part 2. To the point whereas, you know what, I haven't seen part 1 in a while. Let me give it a chance. Because I already know subconsciously that number 2 is way better. But I go through 1 and I watch it and I'm mildly entertained. But it's still, on any horror fans list somewhere, even if it's a top 50 list, it'll be on there, I think. And Brolin, I think the thing that gets me is the change in Brolin happens really kind of quick, within a couple days, maybe the second day, and little things start happening. And even if you don't put 2 and 2 together, to get wait a minute, there's other stuff in this house happening, plus his attitude is changing really, really bad. You kind of got to wonder something's wrong. Go to the fucking doctor, dude. So, figure out something. And I just think that I don't know. I'm just ranting now. I do recommend you watch this if you're a semi-horror fan and you want to see classic horror movies. This is what it is. It's very, as far as I know, it's a very liked film. It's not one of my favorites, but then again, I've said that about 10 times already, so I'm going to just shut the fuck up. So, Amityville 1979, not the best thing in the world, but you know what, in me saying part 2 is better, I don't want to get misleading that it's only because number 1 isn't that great. Number 2 could be a standalone movie called Amityville Horror and be fantastic. So I'm not just saying number 2 is better than number 1. I'm saying number 2 is a damn good film. So check it out. Maybe I should have done it. But anyway, you guys keep it spooky. We got one more day. Tomorrow I will be talking about a film that's in my top 10. It's definitely in my top 10, and it is very fucking good. So, until then, I will also have a tag video that was put up by Jay of top 10 horror films, and I will run down my definitive list of my top 10 favorite horror movies. So, see you tomorrow, guys.